Boris stressed down as an ill considered in COP26 by Nicola Sturgeon, the Prime Minister cops a plea. Nicola Sturgeon has said history may well judge Boris Johnson as she criticised the Prime Minister for a lack of leadership during the COP26 summit. It comes after campaigners attacked the final climate agreement, with Greta Thunberg labelling it more blah, blah, blah. Scottish Green Party co-leader Patrick Harvey also labelled the talks a failure, said the conclusion reached by the global UN climate summit in Glasgow is shameful. Harvey, Scottish Minister for Zero Carbon Buildings, Active Travel and Tenants' Rights, said, "The failure of governments to deliver an agreement that puts the planet on course for a 1.5°C rise is shameful. The influence of fossil fuel companies is clear. We know that fossil fuel companies had more representation at this summit than any single nation, and the outcome has reflected that." The First Minister said COP26 made progress but was critical of Johnson. Sturgeon has urged Boris Johnson to return to Glasgow to help get a deal at COP26 and drive this deal over the line. Speaking on Sky News, the First Minister said the latest draft, published overnight, had shown some incremental progress. However, she added, "If I was a young person looking into this summit right now, I would say it's not good enough. There may have been inches forward in this latest draft, but there's still time to get it even further forward and to really make the Glasgow Agreement one that lives up to the urgency of the emergency we face." She said, "In these final hours, the Prime Minister, if necessary, should come back here and drive this deal over the line." Asked if she was calling for Boris Johnson to come to Glasgow, Sturgeon said, "If that is what it is going to take, then yes. He was here on Wednesday, I welcomed that. In his shoes, I may have stayed here for the remainder of the summit, but come back. Every shoulder to the wheel. I'm not in the negotiating room. That can feel frustrating sometimes. But get there, and make sure that no stone is left unturned in getting this agreement to where it needs to be." Speaking later to the BBC, Sturgeon said her message to the Prime Minister is, "Come back here." She added, "Use your position as president of this COP to really drive progress and push people as far as we can get them. Because every inch forward that this text takes is of course another inch towards getting the world onto a path where we avoid climate catastrophe, and nothing, literally nothing, is more important than that. The reason I'm singling out Boris Johnson is not just because we're in the UK-well, it is actually because we're in the UK, because the UK is the COP presidency, and that puts a particular onus on the shoulders of the UK government. COP26 is technically due to end today, but could conceivably last over the weekend. The latest draft agreement has been criticised for softening commitments to ending the use of coal and other fossil fuels. However, it also contains tighter deadlines for governments to reveal their plans to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as well as increased commitments on finance for poorer countries. Climate campaigner Vanessa Nackett lambasted COP26 for failing to give enough money to help the Global South combat climate change, but she praised Scotland for being the first country to do. But in the final hours, the US, EU and UK stripped the concept of a fund out of the COP decision text, watering it down to instead to holding a workshop. Rich countries clearly do not want to pay for the costs they are inflicting on poorer nations. As FM Nicola Sturgeon, who just made Scotland the first country in the world to pledge funding to loss and damage, said, "Innocence is key to this, not as an act of charity but as an act of reparation. Not as an